on and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or policies of ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, its management, or sponsors. The station accepts no responsibility for statements made.
ZIZ Radio, entertaining the nation, enjoyed by the world.
Can I get a wow? It's the sound you'll make when you get all alone. Wow, it's the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home. From a place you once knew to a dream home come true. Wow, is a brand new view with a love that's so strong. Where you belong. Wow, for a home like new. Wow, it's the sound you'll make when you get all alone. Wow, it's the effect you'll get when you upgrade your home.
Upgrade, improve, enhance your home with National Bank's Wow Mortgage. For the effect you get when you upgrade your home. Lowest interest rate guaranteed and the most favorable terms.
Wow Mortgage. Can I get a wow?
Get ready to ignite your Tuesday nights with a show that's as educational as it is entertaining. Welcome to Pleasure Pulse, your weekly guide to the world of sex education. Join Roma every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. exclusively on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. It's the perfect way to spice up your midweek routine and get answers to all your burning questions. Whether you're looking for relationship advice or curious about the art of intimacy, Roma's got you covered. Pleasure Pulse every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. only on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. Don't miss out. Your sex education journey starts this Tuesday with Roma as your guide.
Join us every Wednesday for In Focus, a weekly talk show produced by the St. Kitts Nevis Information Service, where we provide exclusives with key persons within the government and discuss pertinent, relevant, and interesting matters that affect us all. Tune in every Wednesday, live on ZIZ Radio and streamed live on Facebook at SKNIS Media and ZIZ Online. In Focus, your government, your business.
From the heart of ZIZ Radio comes a political talk show like no other. The Edge, with host Devonne Cornelius giving you his take on the biggest stories happening in governance today. Got something to say? Let's hear it. Give us a call at 869-465-2555, Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. One solid hour of in-depth analysis of the machinery that makes our country tick. The Edge, cutting into the matters at hand.
Good morning, St. Kitts and Nevis, and welcome to The Edge on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me on the program for today. Let me apologize for the late start, but we'll get into our conversation for today. When we open the phone lines, you may call us at 465-1977 or 1903. That's 465-1977 or 1903, and our cell number is 662-8674. Those are the numbers you call to participate in the conversation for today. Let me also greet those of you who are listening from other parts of the world. Thank you for joining me on today's edition of The Edge. Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew is leading a delegation to the 77th OECS Authority meeting, which is taking place in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and other leaders of the OECS countries, government leaders or heads of government, are also participating in this meeting. In that meeting, they are going to discuss a range of pressing issues affecting member states and how member states can work together for the common good, how member states can work together on a number of matters as it relates to regional development and cooperation. While there, Prime Minister Drew is expected to engage in bilateral and multilateral discussions advancing the Federation's priorities within the framework of the Sustainable Island State Agenda. And in those meetings, Prime Minister Drew and other members of the delegation will be engaging with representatives, or officials rather, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on matters pertaining to the CISA agenda. So that meeting is currently taking place in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it serves as an opportunity for St. Kitts and Nevis to dialogue with other member states on pressing issues affecting us, St. Kitts and Nevis, and countries in the region that are often referred to as small island developing states. As you know, we are currently pursuing the Sustainable Island State Agenda, which is a part of the Sustainable Development Goals. And so, with better cooperation and regional cooperation and even regional integration, it would serve as a platform for the success of achieving a sustainable island state. And so, again, that meeting is taking place there. It is similar to the CARICOM meeting, where other members of CARICOM, or I would say more representatives, would come together and discuss issues that are affecting the region. As you know, as of late, one of the pressing issues affecting the region has been climate change, and how small island developing states are dealing with the rising temperatures, the fact that hurricanes are getting stronger and stronger, they are intensifying, and how we are dealing with the fallout from climate change. We recently had a global Sustainable Island Summit here, where leaders from across the Caribbean region and the world came together, youth leaders as well, came together to discuss the way forward and to look at real, practical, meaningful solutions as to how exactly do we address this issue of climate change. We also heard from youth representatives who spoke passionately on the issue, and these are young people who have and continue to dedicate their time to climate action, which is a part of the Sustainable Island State Agenda here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Other pressing issues that are affecting the region is security, national security. We continue to deal with the issue of crime and violence, and we're seeing where other member states, their law enforcement bodies continue to try to come up with practical ways and meaningful ways of addressing the issue of crime and violence. You know, over the years we have dealt with gun trafficking, human trafficking, the smuggling of drugs in and out of our waters, and our leaders and technocrats continue to not just meet but look at real practical solutions as to how we address these issues that we face. The other item I believe that has long been on the table for discussion is matters related to trade and our food import bill. Our food import bill in the region is in the millions, and we are not producing enough food, and our governments must continue, our agricultural experts, farmers must continue to look at practical ways of reducing the food import bill. Now, with all of that being said, I am of the firm view that it takes a village. And when I say it takes a village, it is okay and it is good when we can hear from our leaders that, this is the direction that they have taken as it relates to national security, climate action, and the agricultural development, and so on. But if you don't have the input and support of the people, then you're not going to see the progress that you would like to see. For example, national security and crime and violence. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we had the campaign, the 90-day campaign against crime and violence. And as I've said before, one of the reasons why I believe the program was successful is because there was buy-in from the general public. The teams went out into the communities and they met with people. They met with the old, the young, the in-between, the most vulnerable, those who are most at risk. And they had real meaningful conversations with them. And they were able to gather from them what are some of the concerns and how exactly do we address these concerns. And so that is why you were able to see a positive response or a decline. It was not one body or one group of people or one institution that put in all of the work. It was a community-driven approach. A community-driven approach where people were able to offer real ideas and real solutions to real issues. And that, I believe, needs to be the approach across the board. Not just for national security, but agricultural development, addressing the food import bill, and a number of other pressing issues that the region faces. And so whenever the leaders meet, or when they meet there in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it would be beneficial for us, for them to not just have these conversations, but try to take these conversations out of that conference room and take these conversations into the community, to hear from our people, to hear what ideas, solutions, suggestions that they have, that they believe could contribute to a better region, a more sustainable region, a more resilient region. It takes a village. You're listening to The Edge on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation here on The Edge. Stay with us.
From the heart of ZIZ Radio comes a political talk show like no other. The Edge, with host Devonne Cornelius giving you his take on the biggest stories happening in governance today. Got something to say? Let's hear it. Give us a call at 869-465-2555, Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. One solid hour of in-depth analysis of the machinery that makes our country tick. The Edge, cutting into the matters at hand.
You've worked hard to build your dream home. Now it's time to protect it with ICWI's A-Plus homeowners policy. From hurricane damage to unexpected losses, we've got you covered with the best homeowners protection in the region. Protect your most valuable asset with coverage for what matters most when it matters the most. ICWI, we know insurance. You know you're protected. ICWI, serving you is all we do. Click, call, or visit ICWI today. Visit us at 1C Bird Rock Road. Call 465-8753 or ICWI.com.
The views and opinions expressed by participants and callers during this program are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or policies of ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, its management, or sponsors. The station accepts no responsibility for statements made. Welcome back to The Edge on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the program for today. Just a quick notice from the Ministry of Agriculture. The Ministry of Agriculture, located at Port Zante, St. Kitts, and its affiliates, the Department of Agriculture, located at Lagreet, will be temporarily closed on Tuesday, 17th June 2025. This temporary closure is to accommodate staff attendance at the funeral service of our esteemed colleague Coy Keynes. Please note that the Department of Marine Resources, St. Kitts and Nevis, will remain open to the public on that day. Regular working hours will resume on Wednesday, 18th June 2025. We apologize for any inconvenience caused by this temporary closure. That was a notice from the Ministry and Department of Agriculture regarding a closure for today. Now, with the meeting currently taking place in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we're also seeing the 7th sitting of the OECS Assembly there, and the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, an opposition member in the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis, is also participating, representing St. Kitts and Nevis at that meeting there. So Prime Minister Drew and opposition member Alexis Jeffers is also there. We have a call on the line. We'll take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad for my age, and I'm enjoying my retirement. So, may know what is your topic, but I would like to... Hello?
Yes, go ahead. You fell out there for a moment. Yes, you fell for a moment. Go ahead.
Yes. I would like to draw some things to the general public attention.
Mm-hmm.
When last you were by government, the Treasury, sorry.
It's been a while.
Well, on your way down from work, take a walk there, and you're going to be totally embarrassed. All the green paint on top is cracked up and falling off the building. That building was painted by the former government, Unity, when Unity was in several years ago. Right? That building right in the city. And it's very embarrassing to see you have to go in there to do business and how it is looking. It's horrible. Right? And I've been calling since last year, asking the government authority to please to go there and get some painters and scrape and paint the building and make it. This is in the city. This is the city. And that looks horrible. The other thing, the back of government headquarters in College Street, Lord, since 2023, I've been telling them, please to give the building a paint job. The part that is over in College Street, it looks horrible, it's dirty, it's moldy. No paint, you could hardly see any paint on it. Right? Oh, please, make the city look good, man. The other thing of notice, national insurance. Oh, you make a lot of money from us. Oh, you please get some painters and give the building a facelift. This is in which city? We can't have things looking like that.
I don't think that building is currently in use. I think they have since relocated to a new location, I believe, at Port Zante. So it's currently not in use.
The other thing, sir, the toilet in the mall. When last walk through there?
I don't walk through there quite often, so I'm not sure how it is right now. You're saying that the toilets are still the same?
We still dealing with the toilets outside. This is another tourist season that is off again. Why the Ministry of Tourism and all those stakeholders is not doing anything about getting the toilets back in the mall? And having people outside in them hot shed. With very, very little air coming in. Man, this is in which city? We're saying this, we are a tourism destination and we catering to the world. And when we bring the world, this is what we are for in the world.
All right, caller. We're going to take some more calls. So thank you so much for your contribution to the program. You're listening to The Edge. We are taking your calls, 465-1977 or 1903. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning. Hello? Yes, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. What's the topic of the program today?
It's more of an open discussion, but I made mention of the Prime Minister participating in the OECS Authority meeting in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, currently taking place.
Okay, well, I'm calling from overseas, so I just called to say hello. And I'm not listening to answer the question today. So I continue to listen to the show, okay?
All right, caller, thank you for your call and your contribution to the program. It's 11:30 and you're listening to The Edge and ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. The phone lines remain open at 465-1977 or 1903 or at 662-8674. Also, well, this has also been making news here in the region, not just in St. Kitts and Nevis, but the other countries that have been named again, which is some leaked ban list or whatever, allegedly listing the names of a few Caribbean countries. Perhaps that is going to be on the agenda to discuss at the OECS meeting. But the update I wanted to share with you is the fact that the U.S. Department of State and the White House have not issued any statement regarding any additional list or any extended travel ban list. And so if you are currently planning to travel to the United States, do so. If you have your U.S. visa and all of the other documents in place, you proceed. But there is no official communication or anything of that sort from those entities or organizations that I have mentioned. We have not seen a statement from the government, but in conversation yesterday with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they have said that they have not received any official communication from the White House or the United States authorities. I'm also seeing where St. Lucia's Prime Minister, Philippe J. Pierre, has also said that he is aware of the reports in the international media outlets, but he has not seen or received any communication from U.S. authorities on the matter. So, again, what I believe this is a stunt. I don't know what kind of stunt, but it has to be a stunt because, again, you're not seeing anything from the official sources. And my thing is, why go to such great lengths to stir confusion and chaos in the diplomatic community? It makes absolutely no sense, and it benefits no one in the long run. So let me say, for the avoidance of doubt, that officially St. Kitts and Nevis has not, nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis have not been banned from entering the United States of America. I know a lot of you have been hearing things or seeing things on social media and people talking about it. It has not been confirmed by the White House nor the State Department and so it is fake news until we hear or get an official statement from those authorities. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us.
Seize the day with a summer loan from TDC Financial Services. Whether it's vacation, home upgrades, back to school prep, or even a little treat for yourself, borrow up to $65,000 unsecured with low rates and flexible terms. Apply today at TDC Financial Services, Central Street, St. Kitts, or Main Street, Charlestown, Nevis. Don't miss the sunshine. Let your summer plans sail smoothly with TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
June 29th from 4 p.m., Carambola Beach Club transports you to Destination France for White Sands Parisian Soiree! Featuring the White Swimsuit Competition. Spitmasters, DJ Smudge, and DJ Terra out of Circuits and DJ MJ of Dominica, Travis World and Loves out of Trinidad, and Bishop Escobar of Jamaica. Captivating performances by Sugar City's very own Lucas H.E. and David House and Mr. Mention. Appearing for the first time in St. Kitts, Dance on Jamaica. Performing his biggest hits, Jamaican dancehall sensation, Quad. And bringing the energy from Trinidad, Miguel Teja. White Sands will be hosted by top DJ and radio personality Sweet Sister Sensia and Jamaican radio host DJ Spark. Tickets are just $120, paying $150 at the door. For online tickets, visit CaramolaBeachClub.com. It's a French affair on Sunday, June 29th at Carambola Beach Club for the summer's hottest all-white party. White Sands Parisian Soiree.
Everybody charge up, we going high up, full of energy.
Health-wise on ZIZ TV, Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Hosted by Dr. Malik Lescott, Dr. Jolette Woodley, and Dr. Patrice Lawrence.
From the heart of ZIZ Radio comes a political talk show like no other. The Edge, with host Devonne Cornelius giving you his take on the biggest stories happening in governance today. Got something to say? Let's hear it. Give us a call at 869-465-2555, Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. One solid hour of in-depth analysis of the machinery that makes our country tick. The Edge, cutting into the matters at hand.
Welcome back to the Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me on the program for today, June 17th. That's Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. The phone lines are open, and we take your calls at 465-1977 or 1903. For you to lend your voice to the conversation at hand. For those of you who are just tuning in, I have shared that Prime Minister Drew, and I'm also learning opposition member, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the OECS Authority meeting there, where government or heads of government are expected to address or discuss a range of pressing issues affecting the Caribbean region. And as I've stated before, it would serve the region well if those conversations are not restricted to those four walls. Of course, there are sensitive and confidential matters that you may not be able to bring to the fore, to the public. But if it is that we're talking about issues affecting people, we ought to get the people involved in those conversations to ensure that there are real solutions to real problems and real issues that we face here in the region. Just before the break, I made mention of what has been making the rounds in the media. I've heard it on a number of reputable media outlets internationally and locally, regionally. And for me, it's concerning. It's concerning. I mean, the Washington Post and the New York Times are reputable media outlets, and I would not seek to question their integrity. But we've been here before. We were here in February, where we heard that there was some leaked list, and it turns out that, according to the spokesperson for the State Department, there is no list. So it really begs the question, how are we here again? Why are we here again? Is it that there is something to it? We have a call on the line. A caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Cornelius. Good day to you and to everyone. With respect to the travel restrictions that we're hearing about and floating around, I wouldn't say that it is fake news. I would say it is maybe to be confirmed. But, you know, as my dad used to say, might is right. And you have this bully tactic that is going on, bully tactic, and maybe a little bit of political extortion, if one might say. Because in that travel notice that I read, it also adds this bit about that, you know, they put all of these countries there, these extra countries, and then it says words to the effect that, but it could be altered somewhat if they are willing to take those deportees, persons who are being deported, who are not going to other countries, and you take them into your own country. And I believe there is that element of pressure being, you know, wanting to be applied, because there are some countries that are not taking back their own persons who are being deported. And so it's been spread around that, you know, well, if you're willing to take them. So we have to be careful about that. And the saying about to be forewarned is to be forearmed. It's good to be aware of that. Thank you.
Caller, thank you so much for your contribution to the discussion. And I love the contribution that you have made. When I read the article, which was first reported by the Washington Post, it did in fact made mention of that. Some of the other things that were mentioned in the article was there are certain benchmarks that these countries are expected to meet within a certain time frame. If it is the case that the bully tactic, or a country or countries are being forced into a corner, then that is rather unfortunate. I cannot understand how you would want a country to accept deportees when those deportees are not nationals of said country. So, for example, you are asking country X to accept nationals of country A. It doesn't make any sense. And I hope it is not, and if it is quite unfortunate. I hope it is not a case of bullying or political bullying or whatever one may would want to call it. But in the case of the fake news, it is related to reports that St. Kitts and Nevis has been officially banned, because I've seen that on certain social media platforms to say that we have been officially banned. We have not been officially banned, as in our nationals have not been banned from entering the United States. So that is fake news. What we have not seen, however, is the U.S. State Department or the White House or President Trump himself comment or post anything of that sort. And I was making the point that the President Trump is that type of president who would post these kind of things to his social media platforms, and at news time we have not seen anything. But caller, you have indeed introduced something into the conversation that is worth thinking about. It is worth having a conversation about, because again, our Caribbean leaders must begin to ask themselves, do we yield to international pressure, or do we listen to our local people? At the same time, when this conversation was introduced in February of this year, many of the Caribbean countries, including ours, have said, look, we are at a position where we have basically bargaining power, where the United States, as big and as powerful and as diversified it is, relies significantly on the Caribbean for a number of things. You have a case where our import bill, not just on food, but on other items, I believe, have surpassed $600 or $700 million on an annual basis. And so you're seeing where the U.S. relies or would get a huge percentage of our revenue. And this is not just from public sector, but also from the private sector, from individual people purchasing from the United States. Now, let's just say there is to be a travel ban. We know that there are going to be certain restrictions, and certain persons may still be able to enter the U.S. I saw there was a ban on Haiti, I think it was, Haiti and Cuba and some other countries, some other African countries. And while the ban applied generally to citizens of the country, there were certain exemptions. People who may be participating in a national conference or anything of that sort, there were certain exceptions made. We have a call on the line. We'll hit this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Yes, caller. Good morning. How you doing?
Yes, I'm good. I think that announcement by that publication of that list was made, about 2 days ago?
About that, yes.
Because I would have thought by now there would have been something coming out officially saying that, at least discrediting it, that publication.
Mm-hmm. When you say coming out, you're talking from our government?
Yes, from our government, because since we were named in it, there should be some announcement that it's not, it does not pertain to us.
Right. I agree.
Right? Because you see, the thing is, let's suppose that you were a possible citizen, or you were making an application for citizenship, and you see something like this from in those publications, which generally are not regarded as fake news. They're kind of mainstream. Then what would you do? You may be tempted to hold up, right? Since there's some uncertainty involved. And that is why I thought by now there would be some, even if it's to say we have no information on this, you know, because if that's the case, we don't have any information, right? Now, if it says that there is some kind of information, and it's still in diplomatic circles, there's nothing definitive. In part, I could understand the silence, right? So, if they receive nothing, you know, at least you know that they received nothing of this sort.
Correct.
Right? The silence makes people speculate that there may be something pending or there's something to this. Right? So I would expect that our foreign ministry would be working on this straight out the door and contacting whether it's the embassy or the State Department and getting some either confirmation or denial on this story so that they can relate to us and to people who may be interested in whether investing or becoming citizens using through the CBI process, because these things would factor into their decisions to do something. Yeah, that's my input.
Thank you so much, Carla, for your contribution. Perhaps the Ministry of Foreign Affairs needs to be more robust in their reaction to matters like these. I don't know what the conversations are. No, as it relates to this matter. I would want to think that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the government are currently in conversation with U.S. authorities regarding this leaked list, whatever you would want to call it. But from a PR or from the public's point of view, I understand the point that the caller has made, in the sense that if you're hearing that your country has been named in a list and you have not seen any official statement or heard any official comment from the authorities, naturally it would lead one to speculate. It would lead one to want to believe that there is some kind of truth to it. And so the government and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have a responsibility to issue a statement to say, well, whether we have received or not. Yes, we reached out to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs yesterday and they have said that they have not received anything. That does not mean that a statement should not be coming from the ministry or from the government at large to say whether we have received anything or not. The point I'm making is it should not be a case where we sit on these things, because these are very sensitive matters. And we live in a world of disinformation and misinformation where people thrive on those kind of things. People thrive on things that they themselves have not independently checked or verified. And so when they get those kind of things, they're always quick to share. And so when we could come out and dispel rumors or set the record straight or provide some sort of clarification, it does some good. It does some good. It is 11:52 and you're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne Cornelius and thank you for joining the conversation here on The Edge. The phone lines remain open and we are taking your calls at 465-1977 or 1903. That's 465-1977 or 1903, or you may call us at our cell line 662-8674. I believe we have a caller coming in, so we'll head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. A caller, you're on the air. Good morning. Hello, caller. Could you speak up, please?
Good morning. I did something good. Anyway, I want to tell the dad, right? You can hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yes, you sound better now. Go ahead.
I said I want to tell Carl what he said. They ain't just happening. It's happening long time and they know, but they ain't care nothing about people. But just when they could go late every week, leave island any time, the toilet demand lockdown long time, and the toilet is found. So why they hide lockdown so much? And keep nothing, and they don't want to talk. And when you talk, they want to work with you. Girl, we need us to talk. Let them do as they like. See you.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to the program. The phone lines remain open and we're taking your calls. 465-1977 or 1903. We're winding down. It's 11:54 and I think we can take at least one more call before we wrap up the conversation here on the Edge for today. But for those of you who are just tuning in, the Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Chu, is currently in St. Vincent and the Grenadines participating in the OECS Authority meeting at, I believe it is the 7th Assembly. And also part of that delegation is opposition member, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And we're also discussing the recent report of a travel ban list that may include St. Kitts and Nevis. We'll take our final call for the morning. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Devonne, and how are you?
I am doing well. What about you?
I'm wonderfully blessed, giving that.
Awesome.
What I call you about, this advertisement that, what he named us bring on, Ronnie Rascal, to the Edge with the number 465-2555. If that is not in work in progress, why they should still advertising it in that number? It's getting people confused.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that concern, caller. It is the original advertisement for the program back in 2023, and that was the original number. But because of some changes and modifications that we made here at the studio, some of those lines were temporarily placed on, so we don't use some of those lines anymore temporarily, and we have some new phone lines which at the beginning of the program I would share those phone lines. So as it is now, the numbers that you recently called, or the number that you recently called, is the correct number, which is 465.
Yes, I understand, but
1977.
Get people confused with that.
I understand, and we'll look to address that. But thank you for raising the concern.
Yes, thank you.
All right, you have a wonderful day.
Same to you as well.
All right. So it's not a number that we have completely deleted from our system. We intend to go back to using the number, but I understand the concern that you have raised. That is why at the beginning of the program, I would always share the numbers that we are currently using, which is 1977 and 1903. 465. But thank you for sharing that concern. You've been listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. Until next time, you guys, stay safe. Continue to enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. And please, I'm begging you, take it easy on the road. See you tomorrow, same time, same station. I've been your host, Devonne Cornelius. Goodbye.